Hi there and welcome to another video. Thanks for watching. This is a follow-up lesson from the tutorials I've been doing on chords and bar chords in particular. If you haven't watched the other videos, you'll probably find those useful before watching this one. I've done one on open chords, major chords, and one on major bar chords as well. I'll put a link below to those, but they're very worthwhile watching prior to this one because this is kind of part 3, if you like, of that series. Now, we've looked at the major bar shape, which can be a bit tricky when you're starting out, trying to get a nice clean sound with a bar chord, because you can sometimes get duff notes, you know, something, this kind of thing, you know, things not sounding clear. Now, I've told you how to address that problem, and I will just briefly touch on that again, okay? Rather than trying to play a whole bar at once, start out just trying to play 2 strings with your finger until you get a nice clear sound. Then make it 3, then make it 4, making sure all the time that it's nice and clear, no bum notes. Okay, and then 5, and then 6, and then you can add like an E major shape, yeah? So that's this kind of shape, okay? You have a major bar shape when you do that. So as I say, check you've got a nice clear sound on the full bar. Add the 1 finger there, 3rd string next to the bar, still nice and clear. Next string 4th and 5th, major bar. We also touched on the fact that learning the notes on the strings is really vitally important. I know a lot of people just go off and learn songs and don't really give a lot of thought to this, but it really pays dividends if you learn the notes on particularly the top bass string. So you have E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, C, C sharp D, D sharp E, and you're back round again, okay? It's not very hard, it won't take you long, and very, very worthwhile. Okay, so coming back into the bar position, as I mentioned again in the earlier video, that it's a very, very useful thing to know the bar chords because you can virtually play any chord, many chords from the same shape. For example, now as I say, if you're not too familiar with what I'm doing so far, go back, watch my first video on bar chords. Okay, now moving on, this is what we looked at in the first lesson, which is a major shape. That is a G major because the root is on the bass string, as we've mentioned, F, F sharp G. So that's going to be a G major. Now, if we take off our little finger, like that, we have a 7th chord. So that's a G7th. Yeah? So G major, G7, just with the little finger taken off. So if we put the finger back on, the little finger back on, and we take off the middle finger, we have a G minor. Okay? So you're beginning to see perhaps how many chords we can make out of this one shape. Major, all on. 7th, little finger off. Little finger back on, middle finger off. Minor. Little finger off as well. Minor 7th. Yeah, so we've got major, 7th, minor 7th. Yeah, so useful thing to know. Now, if we were to move these 3 fingers here all down a string, so in other words, if you can't see very well or whatever, let's say we're barred on the 3rd, the next fret along we play the 2nd string, and then the next fret along we play the 3rd and 4th. So we've just moved everything down a string, yeah? From the major position to this. Okay, now that becomes another minor position. But unlike the minor here where we have G minor, the root comes from here, the G in the bass. When we move it down, the root comes from the 5th string. Okay, so in this case that's a C, and if we play that shape we have a C minor. Like I say, that's a minor shape. And a minor 7 shape with the little finger off. Similar thing again. Minor, minor 7th. Okay, so there's an awful lot of chords we can do with this shape. Now, it's not just the G, because as I've already explained in previous video, you can move this up. G sharp minor, G sharp minor 7, all the same things still apply. So I'm going to keep this one relatively short. I will be following it up with another video to give you some more chord theory, which is the kind of essence of getting to play songs and stuff like that. I hope this has been of some help to you, and as ever, I always appreciate any comments you have. If there's something you're finding difficult to understand, I will always endeavour to try and help you out with that. So please feel free to leave some comments. They're always very much appreciated. And thanks for watching. And if you find it useful, perhaps you could click on subscribe or the like button. Thanks again.